Strategic Checklist, Part 2. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live, coming to you every day. And today, no different than most, we're coming to you from the headquarters of brianjpombo.com. Today, we're going to be talking about the strategic checklist, which we started off yesterday with counting down and counting up. We started with number 1. Today we're going to talk about part 2. The second thing that you'd want to look for if you're looking to hire a strategist or have someone on your team be your personal strategist. So the first one we were talking about is about being a good listener and what that means and what that doesn't mean. And so go back and watch video number 1 to find that out. But let's talk about number 2. And this is another kind of odd one that you wouldn't normally think of, especially in terms of hiring a strategist. You're going to want someone that understands goal setting and priorities. Okay, we've talked about priorities before here on this video channel, but we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So goal setting, it's one of the biggest points of being a strategist, is helping you and your team to develop goals and to stick to them and how to work through them properly, because everyone's a little bit different in terms of their personality and in terms of how they deal with goals. So you have to have someone that at least understands that has kind of a dedication towards it and knows how to move forward without being too maniacal about it, but at the same time having enough respect for the process of goal setting that they know the next step because there's always going to be trouble. It never works out the way you want it to. It never goes in a straight line. It never works out the way you want. And so it takes somebody that has that experience or someone that has that patience that they can work with each person on your team. Or if it's just you, if you're running the show all by yourself, then you got to have somebody that can work directly with you and your personality. Because chances are, if you're a one-person show, chances are you've got enough of a personality there that it's tough. Not everyone would be able to get along with you. And so having someone that understands, number 1, how to be a good listener, and number 2, how to set goals and priorities. And I talk about that because oftentimes those two aren't mixed directly together, but I don't see a way of doing it without either one. So goal setting is the basic idea of setting something very specific and measurable, setting something out there as an ideal, as something that you can get to, and having a date tied to it. So having that initially. But the date and all that, it's important. It isn't all that's important, because then there's everything else that backs it up, and that's how prioritizing comes into play, and what you should have as your main goal or main goals in line with each other. Which one comes first? Where's the priority? And how does those priorities change through time? These are all things that have to be developed, and it really takes a day-to-day aspect on this, or a week-to-week aspect of somebody paying attention to this. You have to have someone on your team that can initially be a good listener and can be that goal setter that's necessary to move the ball down the field. It's taken me years and years and years to figure out how to do this for myself, let alone for my clients. But you got to find someone. If you don't already have someone on your team, you got to have somebody that you're working with that can help you through that process. Hopefully that's helpful. We're going to go through all the other points on the strategic checklist as we go along, night after night. So come on back tomorrow night for number 3, part 3 on the strategic checklist. And in the meantime, we'll be back here again. You can check out older videos and audio form over at brianjpombo.com. You can check out the Amazon Proof Strategy session at brianjpombo.com/Amazon and see if you'd qualify. You have to fill out an application, and we'd see if we'd get a chance to meet and talk about how to overcome your competition. That's brianjpombo.com/Amazon. That link is in the description. But you have a great night. We'll be back here tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.